Hey guys, Coyote here. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a new Dwarf Fortress series. I decided to do a companion series to Dusk Earth 2. This one is going to be more or less a vanilla game. I am running Lazy Noob Pack. Now, it's not completely vanilla because I did go ahead and modify some of the raws, mostly to get rid of the animal men, but I also tweaked around with some of the gems and wood values a little bit. And let's see, I played around with the seeds and the plants a bit. So things are more or less the same, but also a little bit different. I've been searching far and wide for a good embark site, and I've been having a tough time. I really wanted to go with a savanna embark, because quite honestly, I've never ever had a game with elephants in it. And elephants are a savanna type creature. However, most of the savanna in this particular world tends to be very hot or scorching temperatures with really, really poor minerals. So I eventually decided to settle on this spot here. It is on the edge of an inland ocean. It is a temperate saltwater swamp on the edge of a temperate ocean. And it's got a decent selection of minerals and gems, so I'm hoping it'll be decent. I've never actually played in a swamp area before, so I'm not really sure what to expect. But this is what we're going to go with. I'm also going to go with a smaller embark than I usually do with. It's going to be 3x3. I did get rid of a number of types of trees and stones, and of course the reduced gems. But we still may have some frame lag issues at some point. So that's why I'm going with a smaller embark in hopes of mitigating that off the start. So now that I've picked the area, I'm going to briefly pause while I set up my embark group, and I'll come back and go over it like I usually do. See you in a bit. Alright guys, I'm back. Took a little bit longer than I expected to set this up. I had a couple of ideas I wanted to play around with, but the availability of goods kind of limited me. So, let's see here. I've got a Fisher Dwarf. I don't normally embark with a Fisher Dwarf, but I figured I'm starting on the edge of an ocean, so, let's bring one along and see what he can do for us. He's also a proficient fish cleaner. I've got a Crossbow Dwarf, agile and tough. Typical crossbow dwarf. I've got the crossbow skill plus armor, shield, and dodger. I'm also going to use this particular person to hunt down animals, which should hopefully boost, I think it's her. Yeah, hopefully boost her skills a little bit. 2 miners rather than my usual 3. Mason and a carpenter. Both of those are also building designers. And then I've got my administrator, who is probably going to do just a variety of side jobs as well. You know what? I'm going to make him also a grower. No, I'm out of points. Never mind that. Now, as for equipment, first off, my particular dwarven society that this group comes with doesn't have access to iron, so I can only get a steel anvil, so I decided not to go with that. And that was one of the things that really affected what I wanted to do. The other thing is that when it comes to stone, the only stone that they had access to was, let me just think here, gold nuggets, sphalerite, and maybe garnierite. So my idea of bringing a weaponsmith and an armorsmith along and stone to ore stone rather, to go ahead and make my gear right off the start rather than bringing it with me to save points, unfortunately didn't pan out. The cheapest picks I could get were bronze picks. It was either bronze picks, bismuth bronze picks, or steel picks. I didn't have a lot of choice there. And I also brought a bronze crossbow and 50 bronze bolts for the archer. That's a pretty expensive outlay right there, but hopefully it'll end up being worth it. Those bolts, once they get used up, will eventually be replaced with wooden bolts or possibly bone bolts. And a quiver. Don't want to forget a quiver. I've done that in the past. a bunch of seeds. Now, I thought I had upped the price on seeds, but apparently I didn't. They're still valued at 1. What I did do is up the value of the plants themselves, which was not what I intended when I was fiddling around with the raws. But I'll just leave it like that for now. And of course, a pile of meat and some fish. I think I've probably got about 65 total food. 1 of each for tons of barrels, of course. And 160 drinks. Now, I did go heavy on the animals. I'm kind of picturing this as being almost like an agricultural group that had wandered out and to settle a new area. Start off with a bit of ranching and some agriculture to get the food up and running for future immigrants. So I went a little bit heavier than I usually do with animals. 6 dogs, 5 female, 1 male. Only 1 cat, because you only really need 1 cat. A bunch of pigs, 5,000 a boar. I'm hoping to get a pork industry going there. And then, of course, the usual hens and roosters, or rooster. I was considering bringing a cow, but at 151 points, I decided to go with the bolts for the archer instead. Now, the fortress name went with Twist Crypts. I thought it was a pretty cool name. Kind of has a darker sound to it. Gimmomaz is the dwarven word apparently for that. And our group is the Mountain of Snarls. It seems like a very odd combination of names for an agricultural settlement, but that's what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to go ahead and embark. This sometimes takes a few minutes to load up, so I'm going to pause once again. Alright guys, I'm back. It didn't take too long to load this up, which was pretty nice. Now I did decide to go with a last minute change to the name. I was thinking about it after I paused and I thought to myself, well, a little bit darker than what I was kind of hoping for name-wise for an agricultural settlement. So I ended up picking a name instead. I went with Oceansprayed, which makes sense because they are on an ocean, and the group name I ended up going with the Steel of Arches, I believe is what it was. I think I'm happier with that name selection. Now, I'm kind of wondering, does the water come all the way up to the edge? I'm thinking it might. Now, as you can see, we do have hematite on this map, which is nice. You can see some right off the pat, and that looks like tetrahydrite. No, those are fire agates. I guess I should have realized that because based on the shape. Alright, let's take a quick look around here. Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure if the water comes all the way up to the edge, up to the wall or not. Just based on the color of it, I'm thinking it does. So I'm probably going to want to move everything upwards 1Z level. Yeah. Maybe over in this area right here by the side of the screen might be a good optimal place for an entrance, especially since that is right on the edge of the map. So maybe it isn't such a good entrance. Alright, let me rethink this here. Those 2 big ponds in the middle are going to cause a little bit of havoc, I'm thinking. So what I may have to do is I may have to go straight down, like right here. That's what I'll probably end up having to do, and then fortify around it. Now there's no units on the map aside from my guys, of course. Oh, a yak cow, nice, we can milk that. So let's get this party rolling here. I'm gonna want to get my miners going right away. So let's start with the designating. Some downward stairs right here. Yeah, right there. And of course I'll do my usual column. That's it, yeah. Should be like that. Good. Drop down. I'm not sure how deep this goes, so let's go down to like 85. Upstairs there, and then some up downstairs all the way along. Perfect. Now while that's going on, I'm going to have my dwarves. First off, we're going to pasture all the animals. First and foremost. make it a pretty big pasture so that my animals don't starve. Get everything in there. Okay, good, and that'll also be a meeting hall. Perfect. And what the hell, a training area as well. I can get the soldiers to train the dogs to start with. Now I'm going to leave it like that, and once they've brought the animals up, then I'll start on the stockpiling. So jump over to Dwarf Fortress, or Dwarf Therapist rather. And I'm going to have my miners knot hall as usual. Commit that. Now my crossbow dwarf is also going to do butchering and tanning. My administrator is going to do butchering and tanning. And the fisher dwarf is going to do butchering and tanning. In fact, I'm going to have the fisher dwarf not doing any fishing right now, because I just want that hauling to get done. So we're going to leave it like that, and see how things go. Alright, and actually I'm going to jump down here so I can see where the water goes. Go! Okay, it looks like the water doesn't come up as far as I thought it did, which is pretty awesome. I don't think there's high and low tide. So, it does still come up pretty deep, but it doesn't come up way up here inland like I thought it might. Okay, so it looks like the animals have been brought up. How's this digging coming along? Good. Oh, we struck microcline early. Okay. Now, I do want to clear that area of trees out. But I don't want to take too long, because that could be bad for the food. So build, workshop, carpenter. Oh, I did bring wood along, and I believe I brought a little bit of stone along as well. Maybe I didn't bring stone along. I thought I had. So we'll use a piece of microcline for that. And I'm going to get... Let's see here. All four of those guys wood cutting for now, since none of them have skills in it. Go! Oh, I saw an animal move, a creature. Oh, it was just a weasel. Okay, never mind. Actually, you know what? I'm going to not have the crossbow dwarf do any wood cutting. I'm going to get the crossbow dwarf equipped up right away. Militia! Sorry. Nobles. Militia commander. And then manager. And I don't think he's good for that. No. So I don't have a bookkeeper, but that's easy enough to take care of. Now set up the squad. I want an archer squad. Flags of trade. We'll go with the different. The tin beans. I like that. That's awesome. Okay, now to check for equipment. Individual choice ranged, good. And ammunition, bolts. I'm going to get rid of the hunters having bolts at all. I don't think I'm going to use any hunters at all. Any hunters I get will be assigned to archer squads instead. Alright, so that looks good. Squad A, M. And just have my archer go there and get her gear on. Okay, let's see if she's got her stuff. Inventory. Bronze crossbow, giant eagle leather quilt or quiver, and bronze bolts. Excellent. Now, any animals she can go fight? Just a weasel. I'm not going to worry about a weasel. Alright. And once that carpentry thing gets set up, I can build some axes. Training axes, of course. Training 1, 2, 3. And you know what? Maybe I'll make no, I won't bother. I was going to make a shield, but I figure I can make an armored, a better shield later. Okay, now we've got people coming for the axes, which is awesome. In fact, that might be all of them. That damn weasel! Alright, let's chop all these trees down quickly. DT, and then I can start hauling all the food up. There you go. with 3 guys going at it, it should be pretty quick. Ooh, is this orthoclase? Nice. Maybe I'll do some orthoclase walls instead of microcline walls. Actually, I have to admit, most ideally, I'd like to bring the food inside right away. So maybe I'll do that instead. Once I get some space dug out from my miners. Now what's going on with them? They're more or less done, with the exception, of course, of a few spots. So how about we do that? Let's go like this. Yeah, I'll do it in sand. How do I want to lay these walls out, or these corridors out here? Like that, maybe? Whoops. Here we go. And of course that was a mistake. There we go. I'd almost consider going back to the odd-numbered shapes because I'm not a big fan of them. So I think I'll stick with the even-numbered corridors and such. Go 4 wide. We're just going to do a short corridor for now, so I can get these 2 rooms in. There we go. Get the dwarves, get the miners on that. And you know what? I'm going to go squad A, and I'm going to have the squad posted right here, just in case, like Reese's macaques or some other sort of frickin' thieving animal or Kias or whatever comes along. Damn stone. That'd be from those things. Damn it. Well, we'll at least get 1 room dug out. Sorry for that odd jump there. I had to pause while I was dealing with real life. So let's go back to getting this done. Oh, of course, they left a couple of spots right there. Damn it. Why do you guys do that? Stupid dwarves. Priorities, men. Priorities. Alright, so PF. Let's get the food going here. And of course, as per usual, I will leave out eggs, plants, and seeds, and eggplants as well, if those existed. Which they do not, sadly, in this game. I mean, they exist in real life, but since I don't particularly like eggplants, I don't consider them to exist in real life either. Let's see here. How is this supposed to be laid out? Like that, I think. Oh, whoops. Actually, you also need to take care of this here. It would help if I was using the right designator, wouldn't it? Ha! I can keep an eye on both things at once. That's pretty nice. And I'm going to take the squad off of stationing so that she can help carry stuff around. Bloop. Alright, so we'll finish that off, and then we'll get started probably doing like some bedroom areas. Again, with the wrong designator. Okay, so that should be that. No, actually it won't be that. No, actually it might be. Let me just check. Okay, yeah, that'll be that. And then once they're done that, where do I want to start on the rooms. Maybe I'll do it here in the orthoclase level so that we can get some more orthoclase to build walls and stuff with. I'm not sure where the ocean, how far out the ocean is. Let's just take a look here. The ocean should be like in this area here. So, oh, wow, it's only 1 deep. Ooh, what are those? Are those like lungfish or something? No, they're hake. Alright. Okay, so now that I know how far down it goes, that's going to make things a lot easier. We're definitely going to build the levels on the rooms on the orthoclase level. So, go like that. There we go. I don't know how much orthoclase is actually here, of course, so this could be all for naught. And we'll do rooms like this. I do want them to finish that upper area first, so I'm going to cut this off to start with. Alright, now I can do it. Jump back down here and get my designations redone. I think all the rooms are going to go downwards. In fact, I think I might do a different layout for rooms than I usually do. Just be on the different side, I guess. Let's see, how do I want to set this up? I'm kind of picturing like a big, large area, like a big, large room with smaller rooms inside. But I have to admit, I am a little bit worried that that might cause frame or FPS issues later. So, how do I want to go about doing this? No, actually there's a lot of space available up top. Maybe I'll go that way as well. Just not a lot of space that way. Okay. Alright, I'm going to pause this for a little bit while I think about this and maybe try a few things out before I settle anything in stone. Alright, so after fiddling around with a few ideas, I decided to go with something like this. It's quite a bit different from what I usually go with, and it's probably not space efficient either, but it looks a little bit different. Each little cluster pod is of 4 rooms, and each room is accessed by one of these because the doors can move diagonally. So, you know, that way I can get some doors in there as well, and they each have space for a bed and maybe a statue or a cabinet or something. I've got it set up to do 20 rooms, and then I can just put that striping right there, and then they'll do the other 20. So it'll give me 40 rooms pretty quick, and a lot of extra stone. I haven't decided what to do with the for a dining room yet. I was thinking about playing with the dig circle command in DF Hack, which I just, I don't want to say I discovered it recently because I've known about it, but I've just never really played around with it before. So I'll have to see what I decide to do with that once I actually get to that point. For now, though, I'm going to jump back up here and check on the situation with the food. Looks like there's still a lot to be moved. So let's unpause it and get things going here. Actually, before I do that, giant osprey. Okay. I don't think ospreys steal anything, so that should be fine. And of course, I did hotkey it, so I can just jump down here pretty easily. Alright, so it looks like there wasn't a lot of orthoclase there. It looks like it's probably going to be, I think this is granite. Yeah, granite. So, you know, that's okay. I'll have to make orthoclase blocks and build with those. Okay, hop back up here and see how this is coming along. And once I get all the food moved out, I'm going to make up a temporary stockpile for the rest of those bolts, because I don't want any of those to go missing. Oh, one thing I did bring along that I don't normally is I brought along a bunch of milk as well. I'm going to make a cheese or a farmer's thing and make some cheese right away. Probably with the administrator once I've got everything moved in there. Just for a little bit of a different diet early on. This is a really small map. I mean, I can go left to right and almost have the entire screen up. That's pretty neat. Alright, jump back down here and see how this is coming along. We got some gems. What are these? Heliodor. Alright. Yeah, like I said, I did remove a bunch of the different gem types, but I left... I'd probably say I'd probably only removed about 35 to 40% of them. It wasn't a huge change, but I got rid of like a lot of the zircons and a lot of the weird named opals. Ones that I don't usually see too often, or that I didn't really recognize the names of. And excuse me, I changed some of the values on some of the wood as well. Certain woods are a little bit more valuable. None of which I started with, and I guess I don't know if I'll see any until I actually check the wood stocks. Alright, so this is coming along nicely. This is actually coming along a little bit faster than I thought it would. Alright, jump back down here. This is coming along nicely. Meat and fish, milk. Yeah, that's coming along pretty good. It should be done fairly soon. And what I'll do, no, I'll do that after they finish moving the food. I don't want them too distracted right now. Now what's going on with the aminals? Not too much. Any strange ones? Just a giant moth. It's not too bad. Alright. Now, one of the goals that I do have with this is, I think it would be really neat to build some sort of like a tower or something right here in midair and have a bridge going to each side of it. Maybe as possibly the main entrance, have like anything that wants to enter has to go through here, and then there'll be like this big area here I could actually set up as a meeting hall to screen the migrants. Maybe set up the trade depot in there and kind of have it all sealed off separately, and then from there they can move on once they've got them all sorted out. I think that's a pretty cool idea. Then it can also double as a defense tower by being multiple levels. Alright, so what's left? I think all the barrels may have been moved. Bolts. Yes, they have. Alright, so let's get those bolts moved first things first. That's Z for ammo. And we'll just go like right there. That's good enough for me. Then after they're done that, I'll move all the rest of this stuff. And actually, that reminds me I should get my farm set up pretty soon here as well. That might be everything. No, just a few more. However, I am going to set up my seed stockpile, which I'll do right, I guess, here. Now, again, this will be just seeds, so I can keep them separate. I'm also going to remove the barrels from that, as I usually do. And I believe down there was just sand and wood. Yep, sand and wood. Alright. So we'll go and put a wood stockpile right here. What I'm going to try and do is make as much of my furniture out of wood rather than out of stone. Unless I can start finding marble, because I did boost the value of marble. Marble is fairly valuable in real life for construction and decorative purposes. That's why I boosted the value of it in the game as well. Most stone has a value of 1, and I made it a value of, I think, 6. Which I know is probably a bigger boost than it really deserves, but I figured I might as well just make it a really decadent stone to work with.